Hey, what's up, students? All right, we're back with the next ITC CXC lesson. All right, guys. So pretty much, if you were following the videos from before, we went through information processing, the basics of a computer system, and now we'll be looking at what goes on inside your CPU. All right. So what is the CPU? And what is it, this mysterious thing? All right, so let's get right into it. So what is the CPU? The CPU is the brain of the computer, or the brain of a computer. It contains all the circuitry needed to process input, store data, and output a result. So pretty much think of the CPU as your brain. And you know that no matter what you do, one of the most important parts of you or your decision making process is your brain. So your brain takes all that input that you're getting from the outside world and makes it into something constructive, something for you to act on, or it makes a decision on it. So pretty much it's the same for the computer. But let's say some persons are saying, why haven't I heard about this term, the CPU, before? Because a lot of persons refer to it as the processor. So if you have your computer, your laptop in a computer shop or store or whatever, or you see persons come into a store and ask, what is the processing power of this computer? They're really referring to what can the CPU do? How fast does it process information? How fast does it gives you an output? All right, so what are we looking at? We're looking at the ALU, the control, the main memory, and this is all aided by the motherboard. So let's go through it slowly. So the processor is made up of the control unit, the ALU, and the main memory for that processor. All right, so let's get into one part first. The ALU, what is it? It's the arithmetic and logic unit. And you can consider this as the mathematical brain of the computer. It does all the calculation. It can perform calculations and transfer data at lightning speeds. So let's just say you have some gigantic calculation to do. And remember, in the last couple of videos, we talk about computers being used for science. If you're in science or you want a career as a scientist, you're going to have to perform a lot of calculations. And sometimes you have to do not just large volumes of data in terms of getting results, you have to do them all so fast the human mind is unable to do it. But the ALU, which is in your computer, assuming you have a good enough computer, is able to process all these calculations all at once. Let's just say I came to you and I say, calculate 98.7 times 956.5. And then right before you give me an answer, I'm going into a next calculation. Give me 93.4 divided by 5.81 to the nearest. You get the point here. That's what your computer is able to calculate very efficiently, very fast, and in high volumes. And one of the reasons it's able to do that is through the aid of this portion of your processor, the ALU, or the arithmetic and logic unit. Very important. Very, very important. Okay? The control unit. All right, so this is a next part of your processor or your CPU. It is the main unit that controls and passes instruction to different parts of the processor or CPU. One of its main functions is to make sure that the tasks that are carried out in the right order. For instance, give you an example. Let's just say you're supposed to press on your keyboard first and you're going to try to press them really fast. So you press the W key and you press the Y key, and you try to press them very fast, and you want to know exactly which one came up first. Was it the W that came up first, or was it the Y? What happens is your control unit actually processes which one you pressed first. So although it seems that they both came right exactly at the same time, your control unit really decides what came first. For instance, you're even in a browser and you click on, let's just say you have multiple browsers, you have a Firefox and you have a Chrome, and you click on both of them, and you, because you want to Google something, your next assignment, and Firefox came up and Chrome came up after, it can really mean that the computer decided which one of these processes should come first, because no process really runs exactly the same and on time. But there's multi-threading, but that's another story. So pretty much that's what your control unit does. It decides who came first, what should run, when should it run, and how should it run. Yeah, the main memory. Another point is a part of the processor is the main memory. The main memory, also called the immediate storage, stores the information that is being processed by the ALU. Remember him? Yes, the ALU. All those gigantic calculations stored. These components are all joined together by the electric connections called the data buses. All these components require electric energy to work. So your computer must be on in order for your processor to work. Well, that goes without saying. I don't think I need to explain too much into that. So let's get into the next segment. All right, the board or the motherboard. This is not a part of the processor, but what it does is it houses the processor. So it's the home for the processor, as well as other components. So whenever you talk about a processor or a CPU, more than likely you have to make mention of the motherboard, because this is where all the components are fixed together to the fixed together, and that has the connections to all the peripherals. So pretty much consider this being your body. The motherboard is like your body with your hands and your legs and all connected to your brain. So your brain would be the processor, and the motherboard would be your body, your skeleton, your 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 basic your basic physical layout. So pretty much that's what happens when you go inside your CPU. So right here we have a diagram of the motherboard in this empty space. I'm not sure if you've seen my um, cursor. This is where your processor would go, where your CPU would go. Over here is your fans and right other peripherals. But pretty much that's it for inside your CPU. So all right, guys, that's a quick look at inside your CPU. So we'll be looking into the rest of topics. I think we have supercomputers coming up, but it's going to be a wonderful ride. So pretty much, guys, subscribe if you haven't, share this video, like this video, promote this video, tell your friends about this video. I have been looking into the comment section and I want to see what you guys think about the video so far. Leave a comment, let us know if you like it, if it's helping you in any way, let us know. And remember, we have a couple apps out. So if all you guys want past papers, the past paper app will be separate in the description. So you can download. It's 100% free. There's no charge for it. And there'll also be the link to our gaming app. For those guys who want to challenge themselves and to do certain quizzes, it's the quiz game link will also be in the description. Please support it, guys. Tell your friends about it and let us know. All right, thanks for watching another episode.